Greetings, Ziphin here with Temple of the Jedi Force. I am back for line 2. This is line 2 of the Jedi Code, which is, there is no ignorance, there is knowledge. Webster defines ignorance as the lack of knowledge, education, or awareness. It also defines knowledge as, the fact or condition of knowing something with familiarity gained through experience or association. The fact or condition of being aware of something. So, ignorance and knowledge both have to do with knowing stuff and being aware of stuff, which I think is pretty interesting. I did not know prior to me doing this video that awareness was actually one of the things that could cause you to be ignorant. It makes perfect sense to me now that I've heard it, and I've said it a few dozen times while recording this video. But it's interesting that awareness is one of the key things that's brought up. The code, from my perspective, is telling us you should know what you're doing, know what you're talking about. You should continue to try and learn more things, and you should be aware of what's going on. Not just what's going on around you, but just in general, what's going on. Like, you might be walking through a supermarket, and there might be a person having a bad day. And if you're aware of yourself, and only yourself, you are ignorant to their needs, and you are not capable of reaching out and helping that person. And it might be something as simple as they can't reach something on the top shelf, and you happen to be taller than they are, or God forbid that maybe they are in a wheelchair, whatever the case may be. If you're not aware of what's going on, then you are not available to help them. And as Jedi, that's really one of our first callings, is to be servants, is to reach out and to help people in need. Then it really doesn't matter what we are doing to help them, just that we're there to help and that we are trying to help. So, going on to knowledge. Knowledge is pretty interesting. We're learning something gained through familiarity with something by an experience, or through an association with something else, maybe. I know, like, for me, I learned a lot of things through familiarity, through experience. I learned most of my job by doing it, not out of the book, despite the fact that I went to college for it. I learned how to drive a car, not out of the book, but by literally doing it. My dad taught me how to drive a stick when I was like 14 or 12, I don't remember. And it was literally, he handed me the keys and said, "Here you go, you're driving today." And I spent 3 or 4 hours trying to figure out how to get it not to die. But I finally did, and I've been driving one ever since. So, I think the biggest takeaway from this for anybody would be to, when you learn stuff, when you learn things you don't know, it really opens you up to learning more things. And continuing that education is what really the goal is. Nobody wants to be dumb. Nobody wants to be ignorant. Nobody wants to be stupid. And the best way you do that is by making yourself available to learn. When you gain knowledge of something, it actually makes it easier for you to learn other things, because your brain is used to doing that. And the more you learn that stuff that you don't know, the more stuff is available for you to learn that you don't know, because it's kind of like a stepping stone. When you learn something, for instance, when you learn general math, learning adding and subtracting really sets the stage for learning some of the other stuff further on in your math classes. And if you can't do the simple things, then how would you be able to do the complex parts of them? So it's important to not just be knowledgeable of of some things, but to really generally try and be knowledgeable of as many things as you possibly can by continuing your education. And at sometimes it really takes forcing yourself to learn stuff even if you don't want to, and I've had to do that a few times. And then awareness really, you have to be aware of not just yourself but of everything around you, and we can do that in many ways. We can do that just by using the senses that we that everyone has and uses, that we take for granted. Being able to maybe not everybody has all of the senses, but if you have whatever senses you do have, using them to the best of your ability, and then beyond that, utilizing your sensitivity to the Force to reach out and really interact with those around you as well. You can sense a lot of stuff just by a person's energy, and being able to do that can give you an idea that maybe there's something more that needs to happen. If you're aware of what's going on, you might be able to prevent yourself from being robbed. You might be able to, help a person who's having a bad day. Not because you knew they were having a bad day, but because you were aware, you were open and aware to their Force energy, and you could sense that they might be having an off day, and the littlest thing might make a huge difference in their day. And that's really what we're about. We're about serving and helping others, and I guess the best way to do that is to, well, one, give yourself as much knowledge as you can, and two, be aware of everything that's going on around you, and not staying focused on just self, which is very easy to do. I will admit I have days where I'm kind of self-centered, but I really usually pretty good about pulling myself out of those and refocusing and really trying to get in one with what's going on around me, so that I am able to sense other people's forces and stuff. So I hope that was good. It sounded like a lot of rambling. It probably was, but anyway, may the Force be with you. Have a great day.